This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
It's time for Overrated Underrated with Ryder and Lisa.
Underrated. Eating the leftovers you've been thinking about all day.
Okay.
There's nothing better. Or when you order too much food on purpose and you know that you can enjoy it at a later time. So you put it in the fridge and you know it's just waiting for you and only you.
Well, there's some food that does taste better as a leftover too. So that's even more badass to get to. Like, you want to talk about hamburger soup? Leftover?
Ew, no,
we don't.
All the fat goes to the top.
Yeah, you can scrape it off, Lisa. Give it a little prep. Anyway, I'm agreeing with you.
When I used to work at Hudson's on Bourbon Street, their wraps are so good. Like, you eat one half of the wrap, and then you put the other half of the wrap in the fridge and eat it a couple hours later. So good.
No, wraps don't work.
No, I'm serious. There weren't not wraps with lettuce. It was like the chicken.
Oh, still. Like almost a burrito? Burritos could work.
What?
Well, I just think the wrap gets soggy.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Not enough sauce then.
Okay.
I'm going to go with overrated today is skateboarding.
Overrated is skateboarding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever even gotten on a skateboard, Tony Hawk?
Not a bunch. And maybe that's why I think it is. So maybe if you're really, really good at it, it's not overrated. But even people that I know that like kind of skateboard don't really skateboard. Like you never see them out. When you have somebody who likes riding a bike, you often see them riding their bike, like even trail riding. Whereas skateboarders, like,
they kind of stop at a certain age.
yeah, I guess. And I don't think you can go fast enough to get enjoyment out of a straight line. So maybe longboarding would be more enjoyable for me. But the tricks, are they that cool? Like, you're just flipping a little thing around. I don't know.
I'm actually going to agree with you specifically because one time I tried to skateboard and I hit a rock and went flying.
See?
Never got on one ever again, but I am absolutely incredible at Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. The video games should be allowed.
Okay, so here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. In Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the video game, the tricks are not realistic.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Triple backflips don't happen in real skateboarding. Or like the 70,000 point things that you can load up. Nobody's ever done that in real life. And that's why they had to amplify it for the video game. Skateboarding's kind of boring by itself.
No, these players that they have on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, they can actually do those moves. They bring them in and they audition to be on the video game, and they have to do things like 4-minute long grinds, ollies.
When
it's a thing.
In reality, it's like 7-second grinds a good grind.
Don't ruin this for me.
Well, so as you may have heard, Top Gun 2, which I'm very excited for, it has been postponed again. Due to the rising numbers in COVID cases, they've decided 2022 is now when it'll be released, likely late spring or early summer next year.
It's interesting that you're talking about that and that's trending because over the weekend, I actually watched the Val Kilmer documentary on Amazon Prime, and it was really good. It got a bit long near the end, but it's so fascinating to watch him as an artist. He's been filming himself throughout his career since day one before he ever made it big in Hollywood.
Heath Ledger did that too. He always had a camera around and like some great memories because of it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So check it out if you're a big fan of Top Gun, if you're a big fan of Val Kilmer. It was super good.
You know I'm a big fan of Top Gun.
Yeah.
To the point that I want to play you guys a little song to show my obsession with it.
Ryder's recorder. Ryder has no actual skills.
Wow. I was about to say this is going to amp people up and get so excited in the movie theater when that theme song comes on. But I think it did the opposite.
Play 107, it's Ryder and Lisa. Your chance at $2,500 with Ryder and Lisa's $20,000 play. That tune is coming up next, like right away. Did you hear what's happening with Nicki Minaj?
Unfortunately, yes.
So she decided she's not getting the vaccine, and the reason is a real stretch. Check it out. This is Tucker Carlson from Fox News talking about it. I never thought I'd put all that together in the same sentence, but here we are.
She has an opinion on vaccine mandates. She tweeted about it. She said that her cousin in Trinidad, quote, won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and his testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now that girl called off the wedding.
So much to unpack here.
There was a professional that replied, and it has the top comment with 60,000 likes. Sorry, Nikki, but this is not a side effect of the vaccine. In adults, the two primary causes are injury or an STI, chlamydia or gonorrhea. Probably your cousin's friend was taking one last marriage fling, picked up an STI, and is blaming the vaccine. He needs an MD stat.
And like for Nikki to then take that information and tweet it out, especially in these times, like what is happening? Plus the guy's fiance left him. I mean, if she knew it was an STI, there's a reason. Mm-hmm. But if it was because just he swole,
well,
that doesn't seem like a great reason to break up with someone, like break up a marriage.
Another top comment, when you get an STI and don't want your girl to know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Have you ever been unintentionally misheard or maybe misheard someone by accident? Potentially you get quite offended and they're like, no, I didn't say that. That's exactly what happened with Jennifer Aniston while being interviewed by somebody with a thick British accent. So she was asking if she was a hugger, if she liked to give hugs. And you can imagine where this went.
Are you a hugger, Jen?
A hooker?
No!
Anyway, it continues, but they end up just kind of talking over each other until they realize what they meant was a hugger. And then Jen said, yes, in fact, she is a hugger. So we wanted to know, like I said, have you ever been misheard or misheard someone else and it was kind of an awkward situation?
All the time. I actually sometimes look at my child and say, I don't understand the words coming out of your mouth right now. Could you please say that one more time? I do have a really funny story about my mom who phoned a florist.
Yes?
She phoned Safeway and was looking for a florist. And the girl on the phone is like, well, there's like one to the right of us and one to the it's kind of like all around. And my mom realized the girl meant forest.
Forest?
Awesome. Yeah. I didn't know where that was going. I love it.
Play.
You're talking about mishearing people?
Yes.
Yeah, just one quick stupid little thing. It was like 20 years ago. I had an uncle come to visit from Calgary, and we're just having conversation in the living room, and he's like, I guess the Dalai Lama is coming to town next week. And my mom from the kitchen is like, oh, we just got one of those in the mall. And we're like, Mom, what? She's like, yeah, actually, those mugs you're drinking out of, I got those from the Dollarama. And we're like, Mom, the Dalai Lama, not the Dollarama. So to this day, I still call it the Dalai Lama. My whole family does.
That is awesome.
Oh, I got tears in my eyes. That's a good one. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Shane.
You guys have an awesome day.
You too.
Play 107.
Time someone has misheard you or you've misheard them. Sebastian texted us in at 780-784-7107 and said, I was at a loud bar one night and asked a girl if she wanted to go home and knock boots. And she said, yeah, they're from Aldo. And it took me a while to realize that she must have thought I asked if those were new boots.
Yes, or I love your boots. Jasmine texted in saying, I told my parents I was getting a puppy, but the conversation didn't go as planned. They weren't as excited as I thought they would be. A week later, I show up with my new puppy, and they were just in shock, saying, like, why didn't you tell us, Jasmine? I reminded them of our conversation, but they thought I said I was getting a poppy for Remembrance Day.
So they weren't as surprised.
They weren't as surprised in that moment.
Get it every year, yeah.
Hi, good morning. This is Alicia. How are you?
Good, Alicia. What's up?
So I was just listening to the radio, and you guys were looking for like misinterpreted things.
Yes.
When I was younger, my family took a trip to Mexico, and we were at the hotel, and we were leaving our room, and there was a housekeeper outside of our room, and my mom politely says, "Good morning, how are you?" And the woman replies, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" Because obviously it's Mexico. And my mom goes, "Excuse me, did you just say to kiss my ass?"
Oh, no.
Hello, kiss my ass.
Yes. So needless to say, it was super embarrassing for me because high school Spanish, that's probably like 101 that you learn first.
Right.
So I was like, "Mom, that's not what you said. Oh my God." And yeah, it put a damper on the morning breakfast, that's for sure.
Thank you for the call. That's terrific.
Thanks, take care.
You too.
Good morning, it's Pamela.
You got a story for us, Pam?
Yes, too good to not share.
Okay.
So when I was younger, my grandma was in town visiting, and we were leaving a mall just as a couple was coming in. And I said to her, "Oh, geez, Grandma, that lady was sure flirting." And my grandma said, "Yeah, so was I." I said, "Grandma, you were flirting?" She said, "Oh, flirting. I thought you said farting."
Why are grandmas the funniest people on the planet?
Oh, my God. I will never forget that. And I was so little when that happened, and I will never forget it.
Play.
Jessica wrote in saying, "I always thought that living vicariously was actually living by curiously." So that's what Jessica would always say. But in my defense, she goes on, "Every time I heard it used, it fit the context."
Fair enough.
That's great.
Eugene had an awkward situation. He said, "Hey there, I was out for a really nice dinner with my first wife and her family. When dinner was finished, I asked the good-looking server if I could have my leftovers in a doggy style instead of a doggy bag. I thought my life was over."
Oh, no. It feels good to get stories like that off your chest, though, because those are the ones that every once in a while it comes up in your head and you cringe to yourself.
Get the twitches, yeah.
I hate that feeling.
You said there was a really funny one from Kaylin, right?
I did. So Kaylin wrote in saying, "We were at Oil City. I was vibing with a meat hunk. He leans in and I hear him say, 'I want a kiss.' A little out of the usual, I said, 'Sure,' and reached and grabbed him and kissed him. He promptly turns around and leaves the dance floor without saying a word. Turns out he said, 'I have to PISS.'"
Awesome. 780-784-7107.
I was. My coworker came in and said, "Did you see the huge accident on Y Road?" And I stood up because I was prepared to exit the building. And I said, "Is Hugh Jackman on Y Road?"
You stood up?
Very excited. I did stand up because I thought, is he filming a movie there or something? Let's go.
Is the Wolverine being filmed in Edmonton on Y
You
Road?
stood up to leave work. Like you didn't care about your responsibilities at all.
We're done for the day.
We're going to meet Hugh Jackman.
Very excited, but it was just a huge accident.
That's so funny. It does sound very similar. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one.
You guys were talking about misinterpretations, right?
Yes.
So this wasn't something that somebody said to me, but we were driving out to our lake lot, and I'm pregnant, so I have a little bit of a baby brain. And I read a sign that said 30-pound pierogi exchange. And I looked at it, and I was driving with my mom, and I'm like, "What the hell would somebody do with a 30-pound pierogi?" And she's like, "No, they're selling pierogies in bags of 30 pounds." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Doesn't sound as delicious.
Right? I'm like, "Wow, how big would a pierogi be if it was 30 pounds?
Well, I think Glendon answered that, didn't they?
Okay, wait a minute.
Isn't Glendon, Alberta?
World's largest, 27 feet tall, 6,000 pounds.
Oh, so close.
There you go.
81% of people did a do-it-yourself renovation over the past year. So the comment section on Play 107's Facebook page is inspiring. The before and afters are incredible.
But it's making me realize how bad I suck at do-it-yourself projects because mine don't look like that.
Oh, I'm no better.
I remember trying to just put a quarter round in, I think it's called. And it's like
I don't even know what that means.
kind of like floorboards, but like the small little ones.
Okay.
And I had to use like a butcher's knife, and I was trying to whittle them into place because I wasn't comfortable with the saw. And it turned out so bad.
And that's okay. You don't have to be good at everything, right?
So we want to know, make me feel a little better.
I am jealous of people that can just do everything.
Yeah, but no, they can't do everything. Tell us what you suck at.
Okay.
780-784-7107, because the DIY thing's not for me. I'd rather the SDIFM.
What's that?
Someone do it for me. What do you totally suck at?
Terry wrote in saying, I cannot hang a picture straight, nor can I draw a straight line with a ruler.
Interesting.
That is really interesting. I always notice when people's pictures are crooked on the wall.
I think I know the problem. Terry only has one shoe on. It's like the Happy Gilmore
Put your other
quote,
shoe on, Terry.
where the caddy's like, I think this one goes a little left to right when he's assessing a putt. And
Yeah.
Happy's like, no, that's just because you're wearing one shoe.
So good.
780-784-7107. We have a listener who texts us in the funniest stuff. And then we call her because she's hilarious on air. But when we catch her at work, she has to whisper. We're not allowed to say her name this time.
No, but we all know who it is.
Yeah, we all know.
If you listen to the show, you know.
Anyway, she's on the phone with us right now.
At her desk.
You guys are the worst.
Yeah, did you get in trouble Why am I whispering? Did you get in trouble last time?
No.
You didn't?
It's just like the things she says on our show would sound strange to her coworkers, especially this one.
Okay, so you said I totally suck at making fake laser gun and machine gun noises. I have a boy.
You have
he
a
laughs
son.
at my attempts.
Okay.
So how are we going to get away with this? Maybe you're really good at it when you're whispering.
Can you give us a little example of how bad your fake laser gun sounds are?
Pew, pew, pew.
Okay, and
Okay,
then
now a
the
machine gun. How old is your son?
Like, 10.
Almost dead.
And he's just roasting you every time you guys play, hey?
I like how you asked how old the son was. I was going to ask how old that machine gun was. He was shooting pretty slow.
Mama, just stop. Don't even. And I'm all,
Okay, you have a great day. We don't want to get you in trouble because we are going to call you again.
oh my God, I love you guys.
Okay,
You too.
I love you too. She is the best.
So funny.
So funny.
What is something that you just suck at? I've lost all confidence in the kitchen. Like, I have no desire to cook. So when I do get in there and try and cook a meal, I freak out. I get very anxious, and I'm not good with the flow of the kitchen. I don't know what to cut up first, what to fry first. So like I'll end up burning the garlic.
Right.
And then the dish is just trash. So
and you like to blame me for this.
I do?
Yeah, I've heard you blame me before.
Well,
because I started cooking, like I cook
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, you cook for our entire house all the time. So I've just like gotten used to not having to cook.
Right. And that's how you lost it. So every time you screw something up, like burn the garlic, you're like, oh, damn you, Ryder.
This is your fault.
Listen up. It's Ryder and Lisa's $20,000 Play That Tune.
Powered by Southside Mitsubishi.
Winnie, we got you. Thank you for calling back. We don't know how we lost you, but way she goes.
It's so funny, Winnie, because when we were going through the phone line to try and find you again, because we knew you were calling back, the amount of people that you could tell they wanted to pretend they were Winnie.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
there was one guy, he's like,
oh, yeah, that's me.
yeah, we were like, is this Winnie? He's like, no. Okay, you have a chance of winning $2,700. So we're going to play that clip for you one more time. Listen carefully, all right?
Okay. Okay. So my guess this time is Justin Timberlake, Rock Your Body.
Winnie, what would you spend $2,700 on?
I have a wedding coming up next summer, but
That would probably cover, what, a good chunk of the dress, I assume?
I don't know.
yeah, I hope so.
Well, we just bought
Interesting.
you a wedding dress. You just won $2,700.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's the part of the song that everybody was so twisted up.
I knew it too. I
You
sing
knew
it
it.
every time. Boom, 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 and play.
Oh my gosh, congratulations, girl. Thanks for playing Ryder and Lisa's $20,000 Play That Tune. We are so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.
We are joined by our friend and terrific realtor, Cal Mustara from Maxwell Progressive. And we want to talk a little bit about first-time home buying. A lot of people taking that dive right now. Do you have some tips maybe about the initial consultation, what people can expect?
Yeah, definitely. So we do provide a free consultation, and the reason for that is it's just an opportunity for us to get to know each other. Basically, we want to know why you're looking to buy a home. Are you looking to stop paying rent, to start building equity? Are you looking to raise a family? Do you already have a home and you're looking to buy a bigger home? Are you downsizing?
And then the next step would be to get approval to that, likely, right?
Absolutely. So I can hook you up with a mortgage broker at that point. You'll chat about your financials, and they'll give you the exact number of where you should be and what you should hunt for.
And then the hunting begins. What can people expect when they're out looking for a place?
Again, just comes back to the initial consultation, just asking what your lifestyle is like, what we're looking for. And at that point, I will have a lot of homes for you to take a look at. And it's actually the most fun out of the entire process because we get to spend some time together looking at some homes and pretty much zeroing in on exactly what you want.
So once your clients find a home that matches the criteria that they want, what's the next step?
At that point, I will evaluate the value of the home, and I will do that by doing a comparative market analysis. Once we determine a great value for the home, we make an offer on the property, and that's where I get to work and I start negotiating on your behalf.
I've never been a part of one of those where there hasn't been some negotiating either. It's never like, hey, I'll give you $250 for this, and the other person's like, deal, wow, handshake.
Yeah.
It's pretty complicated, so it's good to have somebody on your side in that process.
Exactly. We're always going to try to get you the best deal we can.
And then you have to get through your conditions and figure out a possession date, and then you're looking at getting in your new home, right?
Exactly.
I have a friend who's going through this right now, who's just finished the house hunting part, and it's crazy how much the realtor is in touch with him through the process.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, it's nice to have somebody by your side, especially it can seem pretty overwhelming and pretty complicated, but when you study it and do it as long as you have, it doesn't feel that complicated to you.
And that's why we're here, to help you through every step of the way.
So how can people go about getting a hold of you, man?
You can contact me at 780-266-3696, or you can check out calmustara.com. And as always, I'm open for DMs on my Instagram at YEGCal.
And that's KHAL.
Exactly.
You didn't respond to my last DM where I just asked for $30. So I was just testing to see if you respond to all DMs.
I think I put it on red. So.
Yeah, you left him on red. I don't blame you.
Cal Mustara, Maxwell Progressive. Look him up. He's a great dude, and like we said, a good friend of ours. Thank you for touching base with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.